Well, welcome everybody and happy spring. Mike here with another video. So we're nearing the end of the 2024 tax season for car buying. And yes, those refund checks have been issued. The customers have went out, they bought their cars. The public was shopping. So what are the results so far? Well, in the new car market, it's not so great. It's not really what was predicted. This is mainly due to prices still being way too high, interest rates way too high, and a lot of customers are upside down on their loans for their trade-ins, so they can't afford that new vehicle right now. This is actually great news for all the remaining new car buyers out there. Lots are full and dealers are eager to move product before the end of the spring season. That means better deals on new vehicles. But really, what does that mean for the pre-owned market? Well, unfortunately, this means no such great deals in the used market at this time. This is mainly because supply is low. With so many people upside down on their car loans, it's not really feasible for them to turn it in for a new one right now. Also, with prices and interest rates way too high, there are still more customers that simply can't afford a new car at this time. This is shifting their purchase to a slightly more affordable used car. So demand is up and supply is down, which means, we all know, supply and demand brings that price up slightly. However, there is an exception to this rule in 2024, and I think I'm going to be taking advantage of this little loophole. So, if you watched my last video, I explained how the depreciation of certain cars, namely electric cars, can be up to 50% in the first 5 years. That's no secret. Since the late 2023, EV sales have plummeted. Even used EVs aren't selling well. This is leaving dealers with not only new, but pre-owned electric vehicles on their lot. These particular cars are what dealers really want to move out of their inventory. So, here's my plan. You see, since demand for used vehicles are up, CarMax is offering me just over $20,000 for this NISSAN SENTRA SV edition. That's right, it's a 2022 SV, the Nissan, and I purchased it brand new for around, I think, $25,000. I thought the market price was going to be between $16,000 to $18,000 for this. However, with the used car market needing some more supply, CarMax is offering me over $20,000, so I think I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm really considering an electric vehicle for my next car. You see, I did own the Nissan Leaf a few years ago, and I really enjoyed driving it. But really, the reason that I am interested in it is, first, my driving habits are conducive of an electric vehicle. I don't drive too far. It's going to be mainly a commuter car with a few long trips. So my habits are perfect for that. I have the ability for at-home charging right in my garage, or I do have a charger up the street, and there are local dealerships that also have chargers in case I lose power, so that's important. And I also, the most important thing, I do live in a pretty stable environment here in the Northeast. It really doesn't get brutally cold or brutally hot, so it is pretty stable, keeping that battery at a good charge all the time without any worry about freezing cold temperatures, below zero, or extremely hot over 100 degrees. So right now in my price point, I was originally considering 4 electric vehicles. The Nissan, of course, which I had before, the Nissan Leaf, which I kind of eliminated right away, and that's due to mainly the battery management system, or more to the point, the lack of temperature control on there. You see, that's a passive system. The battery uses air to cool it and to warm it up. It's not like a Tesla or any other of those vehicles out there which uses liquid to heat the battery and cool the battery. So that's called active temperature control. I also looked at the ID4, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Kia Niro EV Wave. I was looking at the ID4, and that, you know, the styling on that is really not up to what I like, and it's really not that efficient. In fact, it uses an 84 kilowatt battery to get just under 300 miles of range, whereas the Ioniq 5 uses a 77 kilowatt battery and gets just over 300 miles range. So, you know, right then and there, it's not as efficient. So that leaves me with two choices: the Hyundai Ioniq 5 SEL or the Kia Niro Wave. Which one should I get? Which one should I look at? Here's my conundrum. I'm looking at some positives and negatives of each vehicle, the Ioniq 5 and the Niro EV Wave. So let's go over some features that I really like about the Ioniq 5. Number one, it's got that 800 volt battery system, which means it can take a charge from 10% to 80% in just under 18 minutes. I think that's what they say, which is fantastic for my trips. It's got over 300 miles of range, which is more than enough for what I need. The styling is awesome. I love that 80s retro look. The interior of this particular vehicle is a nice light interior, which I do like. I kind of like that brighter interior. It gives more a spacious look. And I especially like the wheels on the car. They're really cool. They come with 18 or 19-inch wheels, I'm not sure. But it's a really good looking car. The downside of the Ioniq 5, the biggest one that I know of, is that really having problems with that 12 volt battery charging ability. You see so many times these videos where people are broken down on the road because their 12 volt battery isn't charging properly. Yeah, there's many fixes, there's many recalls. In fact, I believe there's people thinking about a class action lawsuit because the problem is just so persistent. Now, Hyundai says they have a fix for it and another recall that they just introduced, so I don't know if that's going to work, but that's kind of scary to me. Number two, for the SEL model, it's not really feature packed. It's kind of basic. I mean, it looks cool inside, don't get me wrong, but it's missing a sunroof. It's missing ventilated seats. It's, I think it should be a little bit more premium for the SEL edition. And that's just my opinion, but is that a deal breaker? Not necessarily. Now, on the Niro Wave, beautiful interior. It is loaded with everything, anything you can want. Power seats, memory seats. It's got a sunroof in it, heated and ventilated seats. It's a comfortable ride. It is smaller. Now, on the other hand, it is smaller than the Ioniq 5. The range is less. It's about 253 miles of range, which is still okay for me. And it doesn't have that 800 volt charging platform, which means it can take up to 45 minutes to charge from 10 to 80%. Now, that's really not a big deal buster for me because I don't take too many long trips. I'll maybe take 3 or 4 a year. So I'm not really too concerned about spending an extra 15 minutes or 20 minutes at the charging station. But it is kind of smaller and I can pack less in there. The Ioniq 5, I'm seeing right now at a couple of dealerships for just over $28,000 for a 2023. Also a 2022 with very low miles, under 10,000 miles. I'm seeing it anywhere between $27,000 and $30,000 for that Ioniq 5. The Kia EV Wave Edition, which is their premium edition, I'm seeing for a little bit less, between $25,000 and $27,000, and again, that's for a 2023 with low miles, under 10,000. Both are over 40% off of MSRP. The what is it? Yeah, the Ioniq 5 originally retailed for the SEL just over $47,000, $47,800 or $47,900 with destination, and makes it 50. So that gives it a 40%. The Kia EV Wave is like 42%. That retails, that one is $44,500, and that's selling for about $26,000 or $27,000. So it's right around the same thing, and that's the depreciation of these vehicles. So tell me, I would love to hear your comments, and I would really love to find out which one should I purchase. It's a tough one. I'm gonna go look at both, and hopefully I will come back with one of them, and I'm going to show you which one I purchased, how much I purchased it for, and maybe, just maybe, we can take a ride to the dealer and I'll show you the car buying process in 2024. I don't know if I can do that yet, but that's my plan. Anyway, again, I appreciate all the feedback you have. Have a wonderful spring and have a wonderful day. Thank you again.